Hey everyone, I'm Francesca Fioio, and in today's video, I will guide you through the correct selection of the right Biotek pigment based on your needs. First of all, let me start by saying that all of the Biotek pigments are manufactured 100% in Italy and the Biotek laboratories. They're the result of over 40 years of experience in manufacturing body tattoo inks and permanent makeup pigments. All of the Biotek pigments are also REACH compliant, so they're compliant to the European lab regulation, and FDA compliant, meaning they're compliant also for the USA market. We have a very wide range of pigments, including brow pigments, lip pigments, eye pigments, skin correction pigments for areola as well, and some correctors and mixing colors. Let's start by the brow range. We got 3 different lines of eyebrow pigments. All of the 3 ones, they have a different formulation. They're studied to satisfy all of your needs. No matter what kind of pigment you're into, we got you covered. The first line is called INORGANIC LIQUID. And as the word suggests, they are inorganic pigments with a liquid consistency. The second line is called INORGANIC CREAMY. They're inorganic pigment powders, which also means they're mineral pigments with a creamy consistency. So the first 2 lines, they're based on mineral powders. The third line, it's called Hybrid Long Lasting. And this line is the latest one we have launched, and it's a blend between inorganic pigments and organic pigments, plus a special additives which makes them very performing into the skin and very long lasting. So let's start by saying that the longevity of each line into the skin is different. The inorganic colors, they require a touch-up every year, while the hybrid long-lasting pigments, we recommend a touch-up after 2 or 3 years based on the skin of the customer. The consistency is different among the 3 lines. The inorganic liquids, they have a quite liquidy consistency, but is not runny. The creamy ones are very thick and creamy, which makes them ideal for microblading. And the hybrid long-lasting pigments are very liquidy, sort of like water consistency. If we look at the color chart horizontally, you will see that all of the pigments have 5 shades. All of the lines are composed by 5 shades. The first row is composed by blonde pigments. Second row, light brown pigments. Third row, medium brown. Fourth row, dark brown. And the last row, it's composed by the extra brown, extra dark pigments. You don't need to be concerned of using the extra dark colors, because don't worry, you're never gonna end up into too dark brows or gray eyebrows. All of the Biotek pigments contain a special biocoating that coats the molecule of pigments and prevent any kind of discoloration. So when you use a Biotek color, you will not end up with red eyebrows or gray eyebrows. All of our pigments are very stable, especially during the healing phase. They will heal just on point, I guarantee you. Another thing that you need to keep into consideration when you're about to select which range of brow pigment you want to use is what kind of effect you want to achieve. So my personal recommendation when to use each kind of range. Okay. The inorganic liquid, it's perfect for machine users. Either you're doing hair by hair or shading, it's the same. But if you want to achieve a very natural and soft result, you can go for the inorganic liquid. Inorganic creamy range, it's ideal for microbladers or people that in general love a very thick consistency of the pigment that doesn't dry out in contact with air. Hybrid long-lasting pigments are ideal to work on oily skin with machine or microblading, because oily skin has a fast turnover of the cells. So if you're looking for a greater retention when you work on this difficult skin, try the hybrid long-lasting. Or as well, if you want something quick to implant into the skin, if you don't want to spend a lot of time into the cabin overworking the eyebrow, you want something quick that stays, then go for the hybrid long lasting, because you're not going to need a lot of layering, you're not going to need a lot of saturation, and you can use a very delicate, or you should use a very delicate pressure of the skin, delicate pressure of the needle. There is no need of mixing two colors among each other, and there's no need to add a modifier to make the shades warmer or cooler. But if you're really into this kind of technique, or you really need it for some sort of a difficult skin or a correction, we have a range here of mixing colors and correctors that are studied on purpose for this. So for example, if you want to make a shade, a brown eyebrow shade, warmer, you can add 1 or 2 drops of orange into your main color, into the capsule. If you want to make a shade of brown a little bit cooler, you can add 1 drop of green into your brown pigment and mix it. As you can see, the selection of the right eyebrow pigment in Biotek is super easy and intuitive. Step 1, select which kind of range you're gonna use based on your needs. Step 2, look at the shade, the normal shade of eyebrow hair of your customer. Is it blonde? Then, if it's blonde, we're gonna choose among this range of blonde colors, for example. We can choose Mimosa if we want to use with an inorganic liquid pigment. We can choose Moscow if we want to use like a microblading color. Or we can choose Spritz if we're doing it with machine, rather we're doing hair stroke or powder. Doesn't matter, but if you're looking for an intense result. Same thing if the customer has, for example, dark hair, like my case. I would fall into the last row category, into the extra dark. So in the extra dark, you can choose either Cosmopolitan if you want a softer result with machine. You can choose Venice if you want a dark color with microblading, or you can choose Bellini if you want to use the hybrid range and have the stronger result that's gonna last longer into the skin. When it comes to lips, we got the most beautiful and amazing range of lip colors you'll ever see. I love them all, and we got you covered from the nudes to the dusty rose, the earthy shades, the vibrant pinky shades, everything. And by the fact that you can mix several shades together, you can actually achieve an infinite amount of possibilities for your customers. They heal in the most beautiful way ever. I am a super fan of Biotek lip colors. I wear one myself, and they heal so gorgeous even after a long time. They last a long time into the skin. Indeed, I recommend you a touch-up after 2 or 3 years. But the best thing about Biotek pigments is that they do not contain a lot of white, a lot of titanium dioxide, which makes them heal in the long run, even after several years, in a very smooth way. You'll never achieve a patchy shade like it can happen with other brands. They heal just beautiful. So you only need to test them. They got a great color retention. And actually there is no more recommendation that I feel like needing you, because they're so easy to implant, they're vibrant, they got good color retention, they heal great in the long run. It's as easy as it comes. To help your customer choose the right shade, we have even created this very funny and interesting tool. It's a lip color fan. You can just play with it and test the several Biotek pigments. We have even created this special tool. It's called PMU Tester Palette, and it represents every shade, every lip shade in the Biotek range as a tester. Basically, we have used exactly the same powders that we used to manufacture the permanent makeup inks, but we have added it with waxes. So you can actually take some of this, they're like creamy paste, and they represent the healed result of every Biotek shade. You can apply it directly on the lip of your customers and show your customer how that color will heal on their mucosa. Isn't it amazing? I am so fond of it. Let's move on to the eye range. For eyes, we got 2 kinds of blacks and 2 kinds of blues. Let's focus on the two blacks that are of course the main top sellers. These two blacks have a different composition. Depends on what you're looking for in a black, for an eyeliner or infra lashes. So Royal Black, it's 100% carbon black, meaning that this color is gonna be very liquidy and it's gonna be easy to implant into the skin, and it's gonna have a great retention. It's gonna be very long lasting throughout the years. But as every time we use a lot of carbon black, this color is gonna start very vivid black, but with time, it's gonna heal like a more smoky kind of black. The other one that's called warm black, it's a blend between carbon black and iron oxides. This one is a warmer shade, and it's a little bit more difficult to implant into the skin, so I would recommend it only for experienced artists that know already what kind of pressure to apply on the eyelid area. So even though it's a little bit more difficult, this one is gonna give you a more rich and vibrant kind of black once it's healed. It's not gonna be as long lasting as the other one, but it's surely not going to heal towards gray. Let's move then into the skin range of colors. These colors can be used for areola, for scar camouflage, for vitiligo corrections. And they're divided into three, let's say, rows. The fair colors, they have like a rosy tendency. Medium colors, they have a yellow undertone, and tan colors, they're towards brown shades. So you can mix them. Actually, you should always mix them in order to achieve a customized shade that would be tailor matching the skin of your customer, in order to have like the perfect color for each single individual person. If you want a very light and transparent effect, you can add some dilutant, which is here. You can add several drops of dilutant if you want to have a more transparent effect. Otherwise, you can use them pure to have a stronger effect. Mixing color and correctors. I have previously explained to you the usage of orange and green. These two colors are supposed to be mixed into the eyebrow pigments to warm it up and to cool it down. Then let's continue with the eyebrows. So let's move on to ochre. Ochre is a corrector. It has been developed to be used alone. This color is great to camouflage and correct gray brows, like a previously done tattoo that has turned gray, and you want to neutralize that gray and bring it back to like a warmer brown. And even sometimes it's possible through the usage of this one to even make the color a little bit lighter. You go over the gray area in a shading movement, and you need to do a lot of layers with this one. The old gray tattoo needs to be fully covered with ochre. Not a pixel shading, but like a solid block of shading with ochre. And then, even after one treatment, you're gonna be able to see a huge improvement. So this one is for sure a must in your studio. Then we got these two colors, Safari and Orange Red, are correctors for lips. Orange Red is for sure the top seller among the two, and it's used to neutralize dark lips. You apply this color, which is a very bright and vivid orange, only into the dark areas of the lips. And then you can go over it with another lip shade from our range in the same session to cover everything. So first you apply orange red only in the dark areas of the lip, and then you cover everything with another lip color. You may need to repeat the same procedure even in the second session. That's gonna brighten the lips and bring that back to like a pinky, vibrant pinky shade. Safari is a difficult color and only for experts. Safari can be used on dark lips when you want to make them lighter. So this color contains a lot of titanium dioxide, okay? So you gotta use it with caution. Only a little bit, do not overwork the lips. It's better too little than too much. You have always 2 sessions of a correction in front of you, so it's better to start in the first session with a light pressure and not so many layers of Safari. And in the second session, if it's needed, you can do it again or apply more layers of safari. You can apply it in the darker areas if you want to bring them not to a vibrant pink, but if you want to bring them to like a nude whitish like skin color shade. So that's a very interesting one, especially used in Asia. They love this color because they love these very pale lips, and that's the go-to pigment to achieve this kind of effect. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any question regarding the usage of any Biotek pigment, feel free to drop a comment here below or on our social media. Me and my team are gonna be here for you. We're gonna get back to you and we're gonna guide you. So that's it. Thank you very much for following me and enjoy your permanent makeup with the Biotek pigments.